Spooky, atmospheric music begins, then fades slightly to the background. They said room 404 doesn't exist, that the entire wing was sealed off years ago. But if you walk down the deserted corridor of St. Jude's Hospital late at night, you'll hear it. A faint, rhythmic beeping from behind a locked door, a door that isn't supposed to be there. Every single night, a heart monitor starts up, calling out from the darkness, a lonely echo in the silence. The nurses try to ignore it, the doctors pretend it's just the old building settling, but some sounds refuse to be silenced. They say it's the sound of a patient who never left. Nurse Liza was working the graveyard shift, her third double in a row. Exhaustion was a heavy cloak, and the silence of the hospital at 3 a.m. was almost deafening. That's when she heard it for the first time. A distant, steady beep, beep. It seemed to echo from the end of the West Wing, the section that had been permanently sealed. Her mentor, a seasoned nurse named Carol, had told her to pay it no mind. "Old pipes," she'd said with a dismissive wave. But this didn't sound like pipes. This sounded like a machine, specifically a cardiac monitor. The hospital records were clear. Room 404 hadn't been occupied in over a decade. It had been sealed after a tragic incident, a young patient who passed away unexpectedly during what was supposed to be a routine surgery. The official story was a structural issue, but the hushed whispers among the staff told a different tale. They said the room was haunted, that the patient's spirit lingered, unable to find peace. Liza, a pragmatist, had always dismissed these stories as late-night fictions, spun from stress and lack of sleep. But the beeping persisted, night after night. It was subtle, almost unnoticeable unless you were listening for it. Liza tried to ignore it, focusing on her rounds, the soft squeak of her sneakers on the linoleum, a comforting, real-world sound. But one night, as she passed the sealed corridor, a sliver of light caught her eye. It pulsed from beneath the door to room 404, a sickly green glow flickering in time with the beeps. Her heart hammered against her ribs. The line on the monitor wasn't flat, it was beating, a steady, living rhythm. Against her better judgment, she found the old master key. The lock was rusted and stiff, but it finally turned with a groan that echoed like a scream. Pushing the heavy door open, a wave of cold, antiseptic air washed over her. There, in the center of the dust-covered room, was a hospital bed. A figure lay under the thin white sheets, hooked up to a single glowing monitor. As Liza crept closer, her blood ran cold. The patient lying there was a woman with her own face, her own tired eyes, and strapped to the patient's wrist was a hospital ID bracelet bearing her own name, Liza. The monitor flatlined, only after she screamed. If you enjoyed this horror story, subscribe now and join me for more terrifying tales from the world of nightmares. Don't forget to hit that notification bell. Thank you for listening.